Hey everybody, another episode of See Jiu-Jitsu with Coach James, Coach Mike. Little format change. Little format change today due to some technical issues. We will not be doing our kickboxing lesson today. We're going to be moving that to tomorrow. So today we're going to go over some more solo drills. We're going to go over some no-gi back attacks and stuff. And then tomorrow, instead of jiu-jitsu, we're going to be going over a little kickboxing workout. And then we're going to be having a exhibition match between whoever it is. As of right now, myself, Mosquito, and Coach Fabio is in the lead. So I think it's like 7-7-8 or something like that. So please make sure you go out and vote tonight. See whoever you want to compete.
Okay.
All right.
So today we're going to go over more of the ideas from the back. We're going to quickly cover the drills that we were talking about for escaping the back, and then we're going to add in a good neck exercise and drill set that you can do to help make your neck a little bit stronger and work on your bridging. So start when we're escaping the back. Typically, if somebody's on our back, I'm going to push myself back into them, and I'm going to put my hips up. This will be the first thing. I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to put my hips to the ceiling. So I'm doing a bridge, okay? Now, how do I know I'm doing this right? I'm pushing my feet through the floor, and I'm activating my glutes, that's your butt cheeks, and I'm pushing my hips to the ceiling while putting pressure into my shoulders here, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move myself laterally while also moving in a circle. Circumferentially? I can't remember words. So anyway, so my hips go up, and I'm going to start to walk myself this way, and then my hips might come down if I have a person underneath me. Notice that I walk myself in a circle, but my hips are staying parallel to the ceiling. I get over the leg, I clear the leg, and then I'm going to thread. So I'm going to take my leg that was on the inside towards them at this point, and I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to use my shoulders pressure into them, in this case into the mat, to keep my hips up, and I'm going to thread the leg. So now you see I'm rotating towards my chest. Now we're chest to chest. If I've got an opponent, slide my knee in, and I'm in good side control. So,
Yeah, sorry everybody, I got my dog here today. I'm going to be here doing some stuff while so I brought the dog with, so ignore the dog.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring, again, my hips up. I'm going to end up threading and spinning. Now I can go back the opposite way. Or I can keep going in a circle. Okay? So getting good at that will help you to get good at practicing your escapes from the back, because what we're doing is we're practicing the movement. Okay? It's all about this movement. And people get this movement here where I thread my leg through and turn wrong all the time. Okay? I've seen people come up and they move, and they just try to turn. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that with most people. Okay? You need to give yourself some space, so you've got to clear this leg here to give yourself space to turn underneath and then replace your pressure right in that pocket, right in that hip. Okay? Make your wedge so they can't turn into you. Now, for helping to increase our neck flexibility, strength, all that, we're just going to do some bridge exercises. So these are really easy to do. Again, so this is what we call glute bridge. I'm using my hips. We're going to do what we call the wrestling bridge. I'm going to come up onto the top of my head here. Right here. So I'm going to go up and come back down. Up and come back down. Now each time I come up, I'm holding for a second. I'm making sure that I'm rotating my eyes to behind me so that my skull pivots back on my spine. Okay? I'm extending my neck. Up and down. Up and down.
A couple things, guys, while you're doing that, kids especially, you have to make sure if you're practicing this, you're watching them, because this is the more strain on the neck.
Yes.
But with kids especially, don't be going up. Go ahead, Mike, go up. and then try to jump over your head. You're gonna seriously hurt
don't
your
do
neck.
that.
I can just see some kids playing around.
Yeah.
Second, Mike, does that feel weird on your head?
Does it feel weird?
Cause it's
Oh no, man. It's like.
I just hear it go, like Velcro.
Yeah, it's Velcro. Yeah.
It's weird. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but no. So you can do that. Dave's absolutely right. You can go slow to get used to it, because your neck will get sore and it's going to feel weird. And if you already have any neck issues like a herniated disc or anything like that, just take your time. Be careful if you're going to try this. Remember, if anything hurts, don't do it. Okay, find a different way to do an exercise. Okay, so. And then what we can do is we can go the opposite way too, and this is going to allow me to do a couple different more motion patterns. So what I'm going to do is get down on all fours, put my head in, so I go over, 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 and forward.
And notice, guys, he's basing himself with his hands, so he's not putting too much strain on his neck, especially when you're first starting out.
I'm only going as far as what feels uncomfortable. No pain, okay? I am a person who does have some of those neck issues, as I described earlier, so I only go as far as it's going to be uncomfortable for me, and that allows me to work on some strength and some flexibility and have minimum side effects of soreness later. Now, if I want to be on my back and I want to try some of the angles, wrestling bridges, you can do jiu-jitsu bridges the same way, where we go over our shoulder here. I can go up on my head and turn, and turn, and turn. The reason why wrestlers do this, obviously, is because we're trying to get our shoulders off the mat, right? We can't get pinned if we get our shoulders off the mat. So you gotta have really strong necks. It also helps you have a strong neck, because if you're someone like in Coach James' position who is going to do mixed martial arts, is going to get punched in the head, having a strong neck helps you to stop from getting knocked out. So, as well as, just absorbing any force. So, obviously, if anybody's ever seen taking somebody's famous Daniel Cormier drop somebody on their head, if you don't have a strong neck, you're gonna have some problems. So overall, just having a strong neck is good, and these are some good drills. So today for Nogi, Coach James is gonna go over some more submissions. So we're gonna go back over the rear naked choke, short choke and ninja choke, and arm bar. And then I'm going to cover an alternate way to potentially escape or at least place pressure on your opponent and make them think twice about having your back. Okay, so we'll start with Coach G.
Chewing her toenails. All right. So I'm here, guys. We're going to go over first very basic rear naked choke. I've been doing it all week, so just real quick. Here we got my seatbelt. Choking arm comes up to behind the shoulder. I really like to clasp the shoulder, guys. I want to get as high. Don't get in the habit of just going like this right here, because it's going to be much easier for him to pull his hand down. Okay. Now we're going to be choking with this part and part of my bicep around his neck. But I want to get as far as I can, because you got to think he's going to be pulling at my arm. So he's pulling at my arm and he pulls it down a little bit. It's right here. Now it's in a good spot. I'm going to grab my bicep and still finish. But if I grab right here and he pulls it down, I can't grab my bicep. Does that make sense? So yes, we're eventually going to kind of be right here. I'm not going to be coming all the way back. I'm going to be here. However, you got to think, it's just like with our wrestling shots. We overcommit our step when we're practicing, so when we do it full speed, we're doing it the right amount, So I'm here, I'm going to overcommit this. I'm going to grab here. Now Nogi, it's a little different. There's going to be a lot less friction on his neck, because I don't have the thick gi. I have some of the rash guards on. So this is going to be seeming a little looser. That's okay. Again, I'm pushing his head into my arm to prevent him from sliding his head out. I'm here, I squeeze a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not trying to pop my vein out of my head. Professor Ryan, you know the joke. All I'm trying to do is flex my bicep just a little bit. I know my biceps are small, so you can't see them, but all I'm doing is flexing just a little bit. Not squeezing super loud. Just boom. Now I turn. If I get all the way here and he's not going, then I'm going to start really squeezing and applying muscle to my technique. Okay, it's a big thing we like to teach here. You apply muscle to technique. We don't apply technique to muscle. Technique always comes first. Okay, so one more time. I'm here, very simple, we've been doing it all week. I bring it all the way up, grab my bicep, nice little squeeze, and I turn. Okay? Now, we're going to move on to the short choke, or some people call it ninja choke. Okay? So I'm here, I get here, but he really pulls my hand down, and I'm not going to go grab my bicep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my other hand palm up. I'm going to Gable Grip. Okay? Now, if you guys can't tell, look at my elbow. When I'm here, he pulls it down, I Gable Grip. My elbow's behind his back. I don't keep it flared up. If I keep it flared up and he's pulling my arm down, so he's pulling my arm down for this, right? If it keeps this up, he's going to be able to reach, and now I'm back to seatbelt. Okay, I want to be here so he can't reach his back arm. As long as I have his back arm tucked, I can still apply a squeeze. All right, now this one is going to be a little more muscly. However, there's still a lot of technique to it. I'm going to use my wrist right against his throat. Now what we're going to do, put the ice cream scoop there. Yeah. We're going to ice cream scoop his throat. What that's doing is it's pushing his trachea up and pulling at the same time. So I'm here, I think it's straight here, right? I don't know my anatomy. I'm here, now look, I'm pulling this elbow back, just like I would for any choke, but now I'm pulling with this hand at the same time. Now look at my ice cream scoop. Okay, I really wasn't squeezing that much. Granted, he's being a good partner, he's not really applying any resistance. I wasn't squeezing much, and I just used my technique to get my tap. If, I say this is more muscly, if he's really resisting, I'm going to have to squeeze much harder to get my tap, okay? So, very, very simple. I'm here. I always go for my rear naked choke because it's a much more secure submission. If, in the process, I just can't reach it, slide down, I grab, pulling my elbow back, ice cream scoop up, and I'm really going to be pushing my hips into him, trying to spread him out. The more I spread him out, the easier it's going to be. If I'm like this, more he's balled up, more he's up, it's going to be hard for me to pull him back. So I really want to arch my hips into him and really, sorry, go back. Yeah. Really pull all my might against his neck. Okay, so that's our short choke or ninja choke, whatever you want to call it. So, on to my next one, last one, the arm bar. One of my favorite submissions to do from the back. It's very, very sneaky. So I'm going to go here. No gi, it's a little different. I think it's easier in gi to hit because you can go right from bow and arrow to the single arm choke that we did yesterday, right to our arm bar. So this one's a little more obvious for no gi. I'm going to get to the side just like we did yesterday for our bow and arrow choke. But now, I don't have a gi to choke him, so I really only have one thing to go to. I could potentially try to get a single arm choke. Sorry, you okay? It's a little harder because I kind of have to have longer arms in order to get a good tangle. But I'm here. I'm going to push his head down. I'm going to pull. Let's turn this way, actually. Right to the side. I put my hand on his head, push his head down, pull my leg out, and hook his head at the same time. Fall, and apply my basic arm bar. Knees pinched, thumbs up, pulling his elbow to the wrong side. Now, one variation that you could do that doesn't involve kind of taking that angle as much as like a bow and arrow trick, you could go for body triangle on the back as well. So it's the same motion when we get to the side, but now you kind of have to have longer legs for this one. I'm going to squeeze my legs together. Ooh, wow, I'm tight today. I'm going to squeeze my legs together. So now I'm at that angle, but he's thinking more of the body triangle. Okay, it's the same thing we've been talking all week. Get their mind off of whatever submission you're doing. So I'm going to push, same thing. Pull out, right to an arm bar. Like I said, that one you have to have a little more length. You have to have a little bit of flexibility. I'm really stiff today, so I can't do it quite properly. But that's another option you can do for the arm bar. Okay, with the arm bar, very, very important. I'm pushing. When I get to this position, wherever I do my body triangle or not, I'm pushing his head down. And look, I'm still sitting straight up. Don't get in the habit. I used to do this a lot when I was a blue belt and purple belt. I fall back and try to swing my leg over here. If he stays up, or if he sits up into it whenever I fall, look what happens. Right into my guard. So it's very important you push him down, you stay up. Because if he pushes into me when I stay up, I can still control him and take the back, or worst case scenario, take my mount position. So it's very important you don't fall. He falls.
That's awesome. That's good. So really, really good technical punch, being really technical today, and I think it's really good. A lot of people have questions about the little intricacies. You know, in normal class, we have to, do things in such amount of time, so we have to hit kind of like the major points, and then hitting some of those minor key points gets lost sometimes, and you're forced to ask us later. And so I'm really glad we're covering some of them now. So moving forward to our last technique today, we'll cover what we as somebody on the front can do in order to maybe submit or help us to set up escaping the guard. So number one rule always when you're on somebody's back is don't cross your feet, right? However, people still do it. So let's just quickly talk about it. If he does cross his feet, I need to know that I have an ankle lock here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover his top foot with the leg that is closest. So if his foot over here is pointing towards this leg, okay? So I'm going to come over the top with that leg, and then I'm going to double it up. So I'm going to cross over my leg. Now, in general, when we do this, I'm going to be laying back. I'm going to start to extend back and extend my hips upward, and I'm going to get the tap. What's happening here is his foot is set into this extended position with his Achilles blocked against his own shin. I'm reinforcing that, and then I'm reinforcing it a second time. And then when I throw my hips into it, I'm forcing his shin into that lock. And that's how I end up with the tap.
This is like a fulcrum.
Yes, exactly. It acts as a fulcrum. Now, when you get to be, after you have this happen to you probably one time in your entire life, you'll never do it again. But you're going to hear about it 1.5 million times. When I have somebody play on my back, a lot of times I will work as I'm here. I'll even use my own legs to start to try to get their legs crossed because this is such an easy submission to hit once we're here. Okay? Now, better people aren't going to let you get their legs crossed. Okay? The more advanced, they're keeping their hooks a lot tighter. So what can we do? Okay? So there's a couple things we can do, and I'm just going to cover one thing, and that is I'm going to attack one of their ankles in sort of almost like a heel hooky type position with my own legs. Okay, so if Coach James has my back, in particular, he's trying to drive me against the overhook side to the bottom. This is what he wants, right? He wants me falling into his choke. So as I'm trying to defend the hands and everything, again, he wants me to worry about what's going on up here. Same thing. I want him to worry about what's going on up here. So I'm fighting his hands. And in the meantime, I'm starting to get my leg over the top. So if you notice, I'm bringing my heel over the top of his toes here, and I'm driving now his leg in between. Now what I'm going to do is I like to bring my quad, my opposite leg underneath right here, and I'm going to again use it as like a fulcrum. So I'm going to drive his toes away. I'm blocking his knee with my own body here, just by the lock that he has around my back, and I'm going to drive up into it, okay? Now, I can also bring it down. I can cross my legs, so I'm making more of a triangle here, and I can use my hips as more of the driving force here in trying to turn his leg. But again, if James wants to stop this, all he's got to do is extend his leg, and then I've lost it. So if I put it in front, if he extends his leg, I stay with it. So that's why I like to stay in front. Now, obviously, if he's got my legs hooked, it's going to be a little tougher to do that. So a lot of times I'm going to end up more in this position here. Okay? Can I do it to the same side leg on the bottom? I absolutely can. I can come over the top and get it. So all I do is I come over the top, and again, I'm turning it here. Again, I want him to worry about what's going on up here. I come over the top and here. I see a lot of people come through here like this and try to get a heel lock or a foot lock. All you're going to do is hurt your own midsection. Don't do it that way. I look at what I can turn. His foot is not supposed to turn outward, so I'm going to turn it outward. I come over the top. Again, I'm using my thigh here. And that's one foot lock you can actually do from the front when somebody has your back. There's another one that I really like, and I think James likes too. I'm working on it more and more. It's one I learned with Professor Fredson last summer. I was with him. It's not one I'm looking to specifically teach right now, though, so until I get a lot better at it. But this one is also one that I learned that is very simple and works very effectively. Do be careful. If you're practicing this, don't put a lot of pressure. You notice Coach James, I went really slow. Coach James let me know immediately when, hey, stop, when it was. Because just like a heel hook, you're taking the foot in the opposite way. His knee is locked or his hip is locked. There can be a lot of damage done really fast if you don't stop.
Okay. Especially if you guys are like tight or inflexible. Like today, I'm really tight. Did a lot of running yesterday. So today I was like on everything. But I would say this isn't something, with this technique, guys, don't give up your back to do this.
No, yeah.
I say this because I remember we taught it one day, and we had a couple white belts like giving up backs.
Yeah, no.
Like, oh, I want to try this. It's like, no. This is one of those submissions, it's low risk, high reward, but it's also low percentage at pulling off. If anything, this is going to be really good at me moving my legs so you can start applying it.
Exactly. So this is exactly what I mean by an opening up the escape. He's here, maybe we haven't even fallen yet, but I'm going for it. Maybe we have fallen. I'm here. I'm starting to try to apply it. He wants to take his leg away, so he brings it back. Okay, now I'm starting to get out, and I'm starting to work in.
The thing is, guys, if he gets deep, you guys look, I started to move my other leg. Kelly, we still If he gets it in super deep and I can't pull it out, I'm gonna have to pull this leg out to create space. Now he's already over my hip. He just decides to turn. So there's a lot of tricks just to get my mind off of what I'm doing and give him stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I know, like specifically with some of the chokes we've showed before in class, there's like a little wrist lock there too, in the way that you can wrap somebody's hands and stuff, just to get their hands out of the way for the choke. Right? It's all, again, a lot of misdirection. So because you're expecting a reaction, you know what your end goal is. You're setting them up. That's the chess game, right? I'm setting you up for the next things.
As Fredson would say, destroy their mind.
Yeah.
Destroy their mind.
Destroy their mind and destroy their soul. Destroy their body. Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Do you have any questions, Kelly?
Nope.
No.
No. Really appreciate everybody who does make the time to join us while we're live. I do have one more thing, if you don't mind. So I had a question from Omar about a takedown defense. So it's a single leg, it's a rolling defense. So first of all, let me say this to Omar about this, because his question to me, he wrote me on Instagram and showed me a video. He's like, how do I do this? And basically what it is there's a guy on the roll in between your legs. He gets in a single leg.
What?
I'm going to dive through your legs.
Why?
Basically somersault through your legs and put people to the top.
All right.
But this is what happens, Okay, he basically gets in the single leg, he's trying to defend it, and as he's coming out of it, this guy's chasing him down. He's going to try to flip and do a somersault in between his legs. So just widen your stance for the show. No, you're fine. So he's chasing him down, and James comes forward. I'm going to do a somersault, and actually I would go between his legs. Now, let's I don't know if you got all that training, but essentially what's happening is this: if he just takes a body lock on me, if I just let my feet go through his legs, so his legs are wide in the same sense, and I come through, so just come over the top of it, like this. Okay, that's the finish that Amar's questioning. He said, how do I do that? How do I do that? So the short answer is it's not practical. It's something that just sort of happens sometimes. Mm-hmm. Now, there are rolling submissions and escapes for the single leg defenses. So while we're here, especially if he's got my leg in between, I've got rolling knee bars I can do, so I can dive down onto his leg here. I've got, if I get my leg on the outside, I can do a rolling omoplata. And there is an escape in which we used to just call, we just called it just like a runaway or a dog runaway or something like that for it. I can't even remember. But essentially, I would just pull off, yeah. I'm just donkey kicking and trying to get away. I don't ever realistically, if I'm wrestling, want to just like. What are the risks of me diving forward? If he's a much bigger person and he catches me at what I'm doing, my head is going straight down. And if he falls on top of me with my head going straight down, I sure hope your neck is really strong because you're gonna hurt. You're gonna get yourself hurt. This, look, even if I fail it, okay? So let's say I fail it, right? Okay, so I didn't stay on top like I wanted to above his knee. So he doesn't come down, but I'm on my side, and what can he do? Okay, if he comes straight down on me here, he's going to pass my guard, or I might end up in a butterfly position or whatever, but I didn't put myself in that much danger, especially physical harm. What if, it happens, we're in a street fight, and I'm out on the concrete. Do I want to be rolling? No. I want to be doing that's best going to work. So the thing that might best work easiest, I can easily guide myself down because I'm going to use his body to hold me up and land on the floor successfully. Okay, I'm just going to use Coach James's body. So thank you for giving me the time to answer that. I hope that helps answer your question, Omar. If it's something like if it's really flashy, I know a lot of people are really drawn in by flashy moves and techniques. But look at the practicality of things and say, hey, is this something if I did it 10 times and I landed on my head 10 times, is it going to be worth it for me? In the end, you're going to find the answer is no.
That's why I don't teach flying triangle or flying arm bars. I was like, teach flying arm bar, flying triangle. No.
It looks cool.
But it's not practical at all. And this is coming from a guy I've hit it multiple times in competition. It's not practical. I got good at flying triangle after I practiced it hours and hours and hours and falling on my head hours and hours. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and at that, he's not having, in that sense, where he's just got to jump on someone and have them catch him, right? He's not even jumping underneath somebody necessarily, so there's a lot of risk there, and I would really try to challenge you to assess that risk and when you're trying to determine if you think a technique is viable for your game. Now, I'm not going to tell you to shy away from it if you like it. If you feel like something you can practice, great, do it. However, just again, assess that risk. Make sure you're not going to get hurt. Your partner's not going to get hurt while you're practicing it. Because when it comes to real life, you need to be able to do it safely. So, because if you fail it and you end up breaking your neck, like, what's his name? Who went for the
Russian?
Yeah, the Russian guy who went for the flying armbar. He missed it. His opponent just pulled his arm out and he missed it and landed straight on his neck. And he just paralyzed, right?
He's paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, so now he's a quadriplegic because, so you gotta decide sometimes if something's actually worth it versus I could just do a basic defense and it'll work, so, okay.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be doing a kickboxing session. We're going to be doing, it's going to be more workout instead of lesson. So grab your gloves, grab your hand wraps, follow along if you would like. And then afterwards, we're going to be doing an exhibition match between somebody, like I said right now, lead Mosquito, myself, and Coach Fabio. So make sure you vote. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.